Hey everyone, Christian here on my BLW online trading channel, and in this video right now, this is actually going to be a series of videos that is going to be called Inside of a Successful Mind, and it's based on the actual book that I'm writing in regards to my personal life, my personal experience, and everything that I have been doing ever since I stopped with the broke mentality and became a successful person. So if you guys want to be part of this series of videos, make sure you are actually subscribed to my channel. This is going to be part one. And in this specific video, what I'm going to talk about is the story behind success, basically where everything started. Because in the end, what you guys have to be looking at whenever you're trying to be successful, it's not just at the successful stories out there or just the pretty side of the picture, but you have to take in consideration also what's behind this story, what happened before going into these specific, obstacles, these specific steps. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and this series of videos that I'm preparing for all of you. So without further ado, if you guys are new into my channel and you're into binary options, forex trading, crypto trading, or any type of making money online, this channel is for you. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and hit the notifications bell icon so that you guys get a notification before any video when I upload it. So with that being said, let's jump into the video. All right, so we're gonna start with number one, and these videos are not gonna be really edited that much, and they're probably longer than usual videos that you're used to when you see my YouTube channel, since it doesn't really include anything in like specifically going into trading or anything specifically going into strategies or anything like that, but just specifically in regards to mentality, mindset. And that's the reason why you're actually watching this on Sunday, because I decided to launch these videos on Sundays so that you can actually start preparing yourself for the following week, because it does involve, in regards to trading, it does involve a lot of mentality, a lot of mindset control. So you have to keep that in mind. So with that being said, story behind success is basically where I started. I'm from a very small country called Guatemala in Central America, where criminality is actually going higher and higher every single day. And by the time that I was actually growing up, which was like around 1998, I was born in 1990. So we're talking about like I was 8, 9, 10 probably. I already started like looking at stuff differently, because when you grow up, when you're a kid, and the people you actually look after are actually your parents, right? So we come from a very poor mentality, a very poor family. Poor, I mean like really literally not having what to eat certain days. And you have to go to sleep with hungry. I mean, because in the end, you're like hungry. Because in the end, you're not going to have something to eat. So it's just better to ignore it, right? So that's the type of lifestyle that I was having back when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, even 12. And obviously the mindset like settles by the time, by whatever your parents are telling you to think. That's exactly what you're supposed to be thinking, right? So for instance, we're talking about money is never enough. Like, it's hard to get money. You will never be rich. I mean, rich gets richer, and poor, ends up just being wiped out of the map or something. So for us, it's just a must that we have to forget about everything that we thought it could be possible for us, like dreams, Even college education was really far away from from the reality that I was living in. You know, even though college is really not a big deal in here, because we have some public colleges, and like I think they're the same as community college and stuff like that. So it's really easy to actually get into college. But for us, it was like far away from whatever dreams you had, you know. So that's the mindset that I had. I could never be rich. I could never be financial free, because it's not about being rich. It's about being free. You know, I was always going to be a slave of a 9-to-5 job if I had one. If not, I was going to have a small street business where I could just get some money to eat today, and then tomorrow do the exact same thing. Or more importantly, or like, even though it sounds harsh, it was just to become a criminal, or start doing some criminal stuff in order to get money. So that's basically the mindset that I started with. Then second point that I want to cover is that story behind success involves a lot of culture. What culture they have. Because culture, it doesn't really mean your mindset, but is where you are being accepted by society, by the society that is around you, right? So when we're talking about culture, I mean, I could never buy like super expensive shoes because my neighbor doesn't have expensive shoes. So we have to be, equally. And I'm not talking just about my neighbor, about the family and stuff. Like, for example, I remember when I was like 18 or something like that, whenever I bought something like really expensive, we can talk about $100 back in the day. And my mom will actually get upset and, punish me and say, hey, you shouldn't buy this because you don't know when you're not going to have money for food. So you should save those $100 and just wait for a bad moment, like predicting that there was going to be a bad moment in the future. So culture plays a really important role when it comes to a story behind success. And the social status that you have, the wealth that you can handle, it depends a lot on the actual culture that you grow up into. And this is the type of culture that I actually grow up into. And next thing that would happen after me, like as a kid, I have a poor mindset. I know I'm gonna be poor. I know I'm not gonna be ever free. And I know that I have to live inside of a culture so that I can be accepted. I have to be poor, or I have to look poor. Even though I think differently, I have to look poor, right? So it comes to settle. I settle down for like, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do for life. And that's it. I'm never gonna, have luxury cars. I'm never gonna be able to travel, because my background family never had the chance. So why would I, right? My family never had the chance to go out of the country on a vacation. So why would I have that chance? I had to continue with the same pattern, So I settled, I was like, okay, fine. Even though I was like this settlement probably came like around 20. Because, before 18, I was just studying, I was in school, so it really didn't affect me like to know exactly what type of life I was gonna get. Because I was just getting the life that my parents were giving me, and that's it. I didn't know that there was something else. But then when I started working after graduating from high school, I remember that I used to, I saw the life that I was having, I saw the life my parents had, and I saw the life that I could have. And I had to decide, do I want to live the life that I'm actually targeted to, or do I want to live my parents' life, or do I want to live this life that nobody in my family has ever lived before and that I want to have? But I don't know if it is possible, right? These two options are possible, but I don't know if this one's possible. Do I want to risk everything and go there? So this is where you settle. And you're like, what's the easiest choice, right? Because that's basically what we always think. What's the easiest choice? Do I want to go in a restaurant that takes about 30, 45 minutes for a good food, or just want a hamburger that takes like around 2 minutes? Sometimes you go with the easiest one, right? The hamburger, even though it's not healthy, even though I don't know, it's not gonna satisfy you as much as possible. But then you go with the easy decision. So at that specific moment, I said to myself, what's the easiest? And the easiest was, I'm not gonna leave my parents' life, because that was different. My father never had an actual job. He was just doing small jobs around, like a handyman. My mom used to have a job, but she was always like complaining about the type of job she had. So I was like, no, I want to live something different, but I can't go there where nobody else has been in my family. So I'm going to stick to this where, I don't know, cousins, probably uncles, or many people in my family actually had a regular 9 to 5 job, had minimum wage, and basically just lived like that forever, right? So that's exactly what I settled for. 18, 19 probably. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna stop in here. You know what I mean? Then here's where this comes to mind, because back when I was a kid, like around 12, from 12 to 16, I was in some really bad influences, here is very common, the MS-13, the 18th Street, and gangs and stuff like that. I don't know where you're watching this from, but just type in MS-13 Central America and you're gonna see a bunch of pictures that you're gonna be freaked out, trust me. But I was hanging out with them. It wasn't really that hardcore like it is right now, but I was hanging out with 18th Street guys and just doing bad stuff, tried out drugs, alcohol. I started smoking cigarettes, and I was doing bad things to people. I never killed anyone, just so you guys know. And because I get this question a lot when I say this, people is like, hey, have you killed someone? No, I never killed anyone. Don't worry. But I was like, like playing in the arcade the whole day, smoking cigarettes like a 12, 13-year-old. I was dressed up all like a homie and stuff. So I wasn't going on the right direction. My destiny there was to be, probably I was going to be a gang leader or something. And then a few years later, I was going to get shot or I was going to be in jail, something like that. But I wasn't really going to be successful by just being there, But by the age of 18 to 20, I think, those years, more criminality opportunities actually came to my hands, like drug dealing, drug transportation, bodyguards from drug dealers. And the payment that they offer were, was really attractive for like someone that was making around, I was making like around $200 to $250 a month. So I was like, hey, if I can make $5,000 in one job, I'll definitely do it, And that's the money that I was being offered. And I was tempted many times to actually take the job. I was like, yeah, I want to do it because I want to get those $5,000. I can make a lot of things with those $5,000. I thought that $5,000 were going to solve my life at that specific time. I was with that mentality. I was like, I've never had $5,000 in my hand. I don't know what I would do with it, but I want it. I wasn't educated enough. I was just hunger of leaving the job that I had, living and changing the life that I had, but I was looking at the wrong direction. Yeah, I could change my life financially by going to a drug cartel or something, but then where would I be right now? I would probably be alive, but it's not the lifestyle that I want to have, like being always running away or something like that. I'm not judging at all right? And I just want you to understand that. I don't want to judge you, but it's just that it's not the life that I wanted, all right? I wanted something different. And the worst part of the story behind my success is that even though I was looking at everything wrong, I refused to get advice. So I was refusing to get advice, and many people were like, hey, what you're doing is not good. It's not gonna take you anywhere. And I was like, who cares? It's not out of the business, So I refused to get advice up until I was 21 years old. 21 years old, I remember that I met someone that offered me a business. It was a network marketing business, which are cool, by the way. But he offered me a network marketing business. And that moment, I realized that I was making an important decision. Whether I was going to continue like living the way I was doing, like not knowing what I was going to do in life, and so on, or I could just start relating with different type of people. And I chose the new stuff. I didn't know if I was gonna make money, and really internally inside of me, I didn't want to make money at that time. I was like, I don't care if I make the money, I just want to meet different types of people. And that was the smartest decision I ever had. So what I did at that specific point is just started going to conferences, starting going to meetings, and starting to interact with so much different type of people. I was dealing with, my circle of friends were people who like to drink, people who like drugs, people who like to party, people who liked girl after girl, people who liked, I don't know, wasting their money all the way and then never had enough money at the end of the month. So when I met these people, their mentality was more like, I want to be someone different in life than what my family told me to. And it was exactly what I was going through. So I realized that there was, with my normal circle of friends, I did have a bunch of friends that had the same background that I had, but they chose to live the same life, to repeat it. But I came across with the group of these guys, and I realized that what they want is to change that pattern and have a different life. And more importantly, I got to meet people that had already changed their lives. People that came from poverty, and with that specific network marketing company, they actually changed their lives. Even though it was hard for me at the moment, because I didn't make any money with it. I make like around, I don't know, like $100 or $200. And people were making $100,000 a month. But it wasn't really because of the money, but definitely it changed my perspective into a way of thinking, hey, you know what? They could do it, so I can do it as well. You know what I mean? And then people were like so motivating. They kept always telling me all the time, even either face to face within the meetings, or when I was like at home, I received a text message saying, hey, you know what? You can do it. You just have to work harder. And that was the key point, working harder. So I remember that I actually was in that network marketing for like around a year or something. I don't know. I wasn't really doing a good job. I was still very young, so I didn't understand different things. People who were in that network marketing company right now, they're making millions. And I wasn't part of it. I don't regret it, because I learned what I had to. I always think that destiny has something for you. You have to take it. And I'm sure that I took what I needed from that specific experience. Then I started to improve my job. And then I said, no, you know what? My target was actually to double my yearly income every single year. And up until today, I've been able to do it. And I'm not talking about, let's say for instance, the first year that I started that was like a 23 years old, I was making like around 50 grand a month. Now then 24, I made 100 grand a month. 26, which was like probably the slowest, 25 was the slowest. So I made like around 75 grand. I didn't double up, but I increased it. Next year, 26, I made like 150,000 within the year. Next year, 27, I made 300. I think it was like $350,000 a month per year. And then at 28, which was last year, I made over $500,000 in 1 year. And this year, I already overpassed that. So I'm sure that I'm actually gonna get to 1 million. So how is it that I did it? It's not just a magic trick. It's not just something like, oh, I realized that I had to work harder, so I'm gonna do it, and boom, there's $1 million. It's not like that. You have to keep in mind that in order for you to actually work hard, but naturally, it's not being forced. It's not like you don't want to work. Whenever you wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and okay, I gotta get up. Even though you're sleepy, you're like, I wanna get up, right? And you go up and you go to the office and you go and do your stuff, whatever business you have. Then you realize, hey, I actually left behind different mindsets that I had. So let's go recap what are the things that you have to beat in order to have this type of mentality. First is the poor mindset. You have to leave it behind. You were not born to be poor. You were not born to work in a 9 to 5. You were not born to just work for somebody else. Clear. Number 2, culture effect. Even though culture or society around you will want you to be a certain way, you don't have to. Okay, you get to choose whether you want to be part of that culture or not. I would recommend you, and this is an extra advice, always do what society tells you not to. Society is poor. Culture is poor. If you look at the society and the economy right now, everything's going to hell. So if you follow the advice of this massive group of people, guess what? You're going to go to hell with them. So do always what society tells you not to. This is one of the proofs that I have when I'm doing a right decision. I always come to my mom and tell her, hey, you know what? I have this idea. And she says, no, it's a bad idea. I know it's a good idea. Why? Because she has the society's mentality. So I know for a fact that she would do wrong in this business idea. So I'll go the opposite. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but 99% of the times it actually works. So ask someone with a poor mentality what to do, and when they tell you what to, go and do the opposite. Bottom line, secret trick, right? 13 that you have to come across and you have to overpass is don't settle. Settlement it's just the worst thing you can do, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your job, wherever it is. If you settle, you will lose the train of success. Don't settle. Even if you're doing good. Do you think sometimes I say I want to retire, but I mean retire from trading. But I have some of the businesses, real estate, car dealing stuff, and some of their offline businesses that I have. I'm not going to retire until I want to retire. But right now, I don't want to. And this is because I actually beat the settle part. So what you have to do is actually always look for stuff that are harder to achieve. So if you want $1 million, go like, hey, I want $2 million. And then in the end, if you get into the middle of the $2 million, you're going to get what you wanted. So settle for something bigger than what you want. That way your efforts are going to be bigger. So your results are going to be bigger. And even if you don't get what you settled for, you're going to get what you want, which is in the middle. Huge, huge tip in there. If you're young, stay away from violence and criminality. All right. I know fast money is actually there. So someone might just offer you a lot of money for something that looks really easy, but it's just attaching you to a life that you don't want to live. Unless you want to, of course. But my advice, don't go with easy money like that. And last thing that you have to come across and you have to overpass is don't refuse to get advice. Obviously, try to follow advice from someone that you actually respect and that someone that you actually want to follow. But don't reject all the advice, and don't close your mind to think, hey, you know what, I'm young, I know what I'm doing, so you can't tell me what to do and I'm better than you. Because that type of mentality is just gonna, life is gonna, this actually was said by Steve Jobs, life's gonna hit you in your head with a brick. So don't wait for that moment, and if it happens, then just remember the advice that you were given before. I hope that really makes sense. So with that being said, this is the story behind success. It's not easy. It's not just like I was born and then suddenly, you know what, boom, I have a lot of money. Or I was born poor and I was like, you know what, I don't want to be poor. So I worked for 2 years in a company and then boom, I'm rich. That's not the way it is. All right, you have to work hard. And I'm not saying waking up, I'm gonna wake up at 3 a.m. and I'm gonna sleep at 10 p.m. in the night because I'm gonna be working hard. That doesn't make a difference if your mindset is still poor. So the first thing that you need to change is your mindset. Now, this is a bonus point and a question of the day as well. Put it in the link on the comments below in the description. Now, tip of the day, do you wanna know how to change your mindset automatically while your day is going on? Read. Choose some successful books in regards to personal development, personal growth, business mentality. Robert Kiyosaki books are amazingly powerful, so check those out. And more, you can get in audio, you can just get them and read them physically, you can read in a PDF. But read. If you read, your mentality will change. So question of the day, what books have you read in order to change your mentality? Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more videos like this so that we can continue with the series of Inside of a Successful Mind, which is part of the book that I will be releasing hopefully by the end of the year. So stay tuned for more content like this. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you are subscribed. And if you found value on this video, make sure you give a thumbs up on it as usual. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.